Hello. Welcome back to our channel, and today I am sure you can see what we are actually planning to create with all of these beautiful flowers and this beautiful makeup look. Without any further ado, let's get started. You're gonna see makeup tutorial, outfit inspos, complete look, that how it has turned out. So let's get started. So we already have the brows on and one eye absolutely done, and I think it looks super gorgeous with this green and a pink lehenga, and that pop of blue I think is doing wonders. So let me quickly show you how to do it on this eye. I am going to dip into the Pat McGrath Mothership Moonlit Seduction palette, and I am going to dip into this shade right here. This is the perfect deep burgundy rose shade, and using my MAC 217S, I am going to start packing it onto the outer V like so, and then without taking any more product, I will keep buffing out the edges of this shadow to give it a very soft ethereal look like this. I'm just patting it onto the external harsh side, and this way it is automatically going to blend it into a transition shade. And now to deepen the outer part even more, I am going to dip into the Rose Quartz palette, and I'm going to use this shade called Aura. This is the perfect combination of colors that we can think of. Now whatever is left in the brush goes towards the inner part, and now I am going to take like a fluffy blending brush. This is the M453 by Morphe, and I am going to use this shade right here. This is called Happiness, and firstly I am just going to pack it towards the inner part for it to firstly set the base. And once I am done with that, I am going to start buffing it. Okay, this color has some shimmer. I am going to use small circular motions to buff it into the crease and also take it towards the outer part. Once we're done with this, I am going to dip into this beautiful shade called Moon Magic. This is such a gorgeous shade, and I'm just going to take it onto my finger and look at that. And I'm just going to pack it onto the lid. This just makes the eye look so wet, and it is insanely pigmented. I'm going to take my first eyeshadow brush and pack the darkest shade from the Rose Quartz palette to just make sure that the two are merging together beautifully like this. And I'm just going to use my Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH31. I'm taking this shade from the Moonlit Seduction palette onto this brush and deepening this area a little more. Now for that final touch, I am going to take the lightest color that we just took called Happiness from Rose Quartz palette onto the same brush and just buff out all the rough edges so that it looks very, very smooth. And we're done. It was such an easy look, but it looks so stunning. For my lashes today, I am using the HENAA Beauty. This is an Indian brand, and I really like the lashes. The biggest thing for me is that these are synthetic mink lashes in the style Hamida. I already have it on here and it looks stunning. I'll quickly put on my lashes and be right back. I already did put on the MAC Strobe cream and all over the face, and now I'm just off to color correcting. I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy Color Corrector in the shade medium, and just color correcting everywhere. I feel I have some discoloration, and I think this should be in now. Look at that difference. You just cannot see that darkness anymore, and I think that is one thing that I just can't do without in makeup, especially I think for us Indian skin tones who have some kind of discoloration. Usually we definitely need the help of color corrector to make sure that, you know, our makeup doesn't really turn gray, it doesn't look ashy, it totally melts into the skin. And now on to the foundation, and I have something really nice. For my foundation today, I'm using one of my favorites, GIORGIO Armani Luminous Silk, and I use the shade 6.25. Here it is. It's the shade 6.25. I'll just give it a quick shake, about 3 pumps. And I always like to work in sections, especially when I'm doing like a foundation. That way you have like enough play time, enough blending time. And this is something that you should always consider, especially when you're using a matte foundation, because otherwise it can just dry down very quickly and start looking patchy. So that is one trick that I would really always follow. For my concealer today, I am using a new concealer, and I got it in 2 shades. This is the McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer, and I have the shade medium 17 and light medium 13. I'm sure you already know that by now, that I always like to use 2 concealers because, you know, it just gives you a much more flawless finish, and there is just no chance of your under eyes turning gray. And so therefore I'm just going to start with the medium 17, and this is like my perfect match. It will also help me, you know, kind of cover up my blemishes. I did swatch it once, and honestly I was obsessed. The finish is so lightweight, it looks so stunning. I love when my, you know, moles peek through. I think that just makes your makeup look very natural, and that is why, you know, using a foundation which is like medium coverage always makes more sense for me. Now whatever is left in the brush kind of goes here to, you know, mesh it into the eyeshadow, and that just cleans up everything. For my blush, I am using the Rose Ink blush in the shade Ophelia, and I'm just using my fingers because it's such a balmy texture, and I'm just going to melt it into the skin. It is so pigmented, so creamy. Look at that natural flush that it just gave me. I do like to take my blush very high because that just kind of lifts your face up, and you don't really need any artificial lifts. Whatever is left goes everywhere else because I'm just obsessed with blushes. And now we are going to use the lighter shade of the concealer to brighten the under eyes and kind of mesh the concealer and the blush together, because for me that is really important. When you actually see like a streak of the blush, I just do not like it. So I am using the shade light medium 13, LM13 in the same concealer, and this will help me brighten, lift my under eye a little bit here, and yeah, that's it. I don't like to put a lighter concealer on the chin area because I feel that just kind of turns a little bit gray usually, which is not what I prefer. See, we are not doing a cream contour because I don't want this look to be a lot of contouring and sculpting, and I want it to be very fresh. So a more emphasis on the blush and less on the contour. Now that the under eye concealer has been sitting for a while, we are ready to blend it. So what I like to do is, before this concealer starts creasing, I am going to take my compact powder. I'm using the one by Gucci here. I am using the shade 03, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a small powder brush. This is a Morphe X Ariel number 14 brush, and I will have both my concealer and the powder brush in hand. I'm going to coat the bristles of this very nicely, making sure that the brush is evenly coated with the powder. And then I am going to make sure there is no creasing and press the powder onto the under eye. And the powder puff and the powder is going to happen later after this. So this way your concealer does not crease as quick, and this will also make sure that you don't have to keep blending the creases forever. I'm going to set the center of the face with this before I go in with a loose powder, just making sure there's no creasing anywhere before I go in with the powder. And now we are ready for the powder product. So we're just going to start with the loose powder, and I am using the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur Translucent powder. That is a mouthful, and it's just so difficult to remember all of these names. Alright, so let's just dig into it. I have it on my puff here. I am going to even it out before I decide to go in and press it under the eye. Whatever is left goes onto the cheek. Look at that difference. For my powder bronzer, I'm again using the Gucci bronzer, and I just love this so much. I am still evening it out on my palm and then just going in with the bronzer. Looks so beautiful. I use the shade 03 in the bronzer as well. I'm just going to pinch the same brush and lightly, dust it around the nose. And we're done with bronzing as well. Now it's time for the blush. And just Kiliana, I am just way too excited because we are going to do an ombre blush situation. I am using the Valentino blush eye to cheek dual use blush and shadow. This is in the shade number 10. I think this is called this is called Fuchsia Illusion, and this is what it looks like. We're not going to use a lot of this one, just a touch on the outer cheek, just here, so that it just meshes into the eyeshadow. Love it. I think it's turning out so pretty. And now for the lighter blush, I am using the Dior 00 Pink. For my lips, I am using the Too Faced Melted Matte in the shade Bottomless. This is, I think, going to be perfect. And for my lip liner, I'm using the MAC Spice. So this is the final look. It has turned out so beautiful, especially I think all of these colors together with the matha patti and the lack of earrings are still keeping it very youthful. But oh my god. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's bridal / bridesmaid makeup tutorial and the whole look. And if you did like it, please make sure that you like it, comment and subscribe to the channel. I will make sure that in the upcoming wedding season you have a lot more of Indian content coming your way, so that you never fall short of any, outfit inspos or makeup inspos in terms of the colors, the different looks that you could wear. And I think I am in absolute love with how this makeup look has turned out. It is not too loud but not too subtle, and has all such beautiful amalgamation of such beautiful colors. So I am just obsessed, honestly. I cannot stop looking at myself in the mirror and on my screen. So yeah, if you did like it, please subscribe to the channel. I've been observing that you guys aren't subscribing to the channel, and it's really kind of demotivating. So please do that, and I will see you guys in my next one. XOXO.